like the fight. I think Canelo has one way to win it. Crawford has three ways to win it.
So would that mean that you make Terence a favourite?
I ain't gonna say the favorite, but Canelo got one way to win it. If he does that one thing, it nullifies everything. If he don't, then Bud gonna beat it.
I think it's a good fight. I think, I think Canelo wins. I don't know how, but I think he wins. I think the weight is just too much.
Wow, it's a good one. Because I was, at the start, I was thinking Canelo's too big. But when I saw the face-off and the body language of Canelo and the body language of Crawford, I'm edging towards Crawford now. I always thought Canelo was too big, but I'm not even sure. Did I mix that up or a second ago? But no, I always thought Canelo was too big. But after seeing the face-off, Crawford, for me now, I'm leaning towards Crawford. Because he's not as small as what it seemed. He's level says on the heightways, and then, he's carried his power up right up to 154. Can he keep carrying it up? Who knows? Skill set ways, Crawford is unbelievable. He can fight both stances, forward, backwards, anything you want. Canelo, probably on the tail end as well of his career. He's had a very, very long career, but, is he the same fighter he used to be? I don't think so. He's probably not as ferocious as what he once was. But does he still have enough to be Canelo? Who knows? To be Crawford. Who knows? I'm leaning towards Crawford now.
It's hard. It really is. For me, I want Canelo to win. But like you said, how much has Canelo got left? How much has I think Crawford's actually older than Canelo, but Canelo's definitely got more miles on the clock. I'm not sure. Is the weight going to play a factor? Is Crawford a little bit fresher? I don't know. It's interesting.
I would hope it plays out. Just Crawford being successful and having his hands raised at the end of the day. But how it actually is going to go, I just have to sit back, watch as a fan, in hopes that it could be just as entertaining as a Mickey Ward, Gotti, or, one of the best fights and duels that we've seen.
I like Crawford, but I hope he doesn't come in at 168. I hope he comes in a little lighter. And people are going to say, why do you say that? Because if he comes in at 168, right, by fight night, he's going to be 178. Is his body ready to carry that kind of weight for 12 rounds? So I think he should come in 60. You know what I mean? Bigger's not always better. And as crazy as it may sound, the lighter he is, to me, the better he's going to be. But I still pick Crawford to win the fight.
So you actually pick Crawford regardless to win?
Yeah, regardless, I pick Crawford.
What makes you feel like Terence will win?
I just think that he's got the style to give Canelo trouble. Canelo, not taking nothing from Canelo now. He's the best out there right now. The two best fighters in the world are fighting on that day, which is great. That's a fight that I want to watch on TV, not live, on TV. So you can sit and just watch the instant replay, get a good feel of it. When you're live, if you turn, you might miss something, you know what I mean? But if you're in front of the TV, you don't miss anything. But I just think that he's got the style, to beat him.
What's the key for him then to come out on top in that fight?
He's got to stay focused from ding to dong, from the first bell to the last bell, and give Canelo different looks. You can't give Canelo the same look because he'll figure you out. And if Canelo figures you out, then, but if you got to give him different looks, you got to give Canelo different looks. You can't give him the same look every round.
Can't pick a winner. I'm just excited for the great fight that it's going to be. We have had some great fights. And Crawford and Canelo have been in some of the great fights. Crawford against Porto, I think that's one of the best fights. Crawford against Benavidez, that's one of my favourite fights as well. When you look at Canelo against Golovkin, oh, what fights they were. So I can see this one being the same between these two.
You can see Terence maybe planting his feet a little bit more.
Well, I can see. I think he'll have to. One thing about him is, and you can see, he's well, for want of a better word, he's no bitch. Crawford, he's gonna want to get his respect in there. I can't pick it because they're just two great fighters, and I'm just happy to see it happening.
Yeah, it's a major fight, man, the biggest in a long time. If you've been following Tarver's take, you know I'm Bud County all the way. But this is going to be the toughest fight, the best fighter Bud has ever been in the ring with. And arguably, this could be the best fighter Canelo has ever been in the ring with. We'll find out which one is which on September 13th.
Great fight. Two of the best. Generational talents. Putting it all on the line. Prediction-wise, Canelo winning via stoppage, late rounds.
I honestly think that Canelo's too big. Terence is a superb fighter. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that moving up in weight without having fights to merit that, I think it's the wrong move. But he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys. Nobody's hurt him. I mean, he's fought the biggest punch. He fought Gennady. Come on, he fought Gennady twice, really the good fights. And then Bivol hit him with everything and couldn't hurt him. So how's Terence gonna do that? I don't think he can. I see Canelo going away maybe in a 16-12, 17-13 kind of fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo, or a little harder for Canelo because of the speed. But once he assimilates, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the first 3 or 4 rounds where Kell was fast. But Terence is going to expose himself when he throws his punches, and Canelo's going to finally get this timing down, and I think we'll be able to control the fight.
I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm hoping Crawford, get the job done. I just want him to box and just do that. Just go in there and box the whole time. Don't try to go in there and be like a strong man and, try to go blow for blow with him, because Canelo is bigger. He's been fighting at the 168-pound division for, quite some time now. So I just want him to go in there and be smart.
I like Crawford and I like his guys and that, but I heavily favour Canelo. So, yeah.
What, is he simply just size, just too big?
Not just size. There's a number of factors. And I think that a lot of people picture Canelo to be a certain something. And when they get in the ring with him, they see how many layers he's got to his game. And I just struggle to see a path to victory for Crawford, if I'm being honest.
From the night you worked with him, with Billy Joe, that is, against Canelo, do you see a version which has slowed down since?
I think he has on and off performances. And being honest, when it was first made, I thought Canelo, don't even need to look at it. Then Crawford boxed Madrimov, and I thought. Then Canelo boxed Skull, and I thought, oh. So then, but no, yeah, I think he has a few of those performances here and there. And he just looked disinterested, but I think he'd be well up for this fight. And I think he's got a healthy respect for Crawford. But like I said, I just struggled I can see a number of paths to victory for Canelo. I struggled to see a path to victory for Crawford.
Oh, I'm going with Canelo. Now, Terence Crawford definitely got the goods. He got the goods, but his chin suspect. It's some animosity and stuff going on about him being with a certain company that's giving him steroids or whatever. I don't believe that. And they saying that after he took a shot from Earl Spence, a clean shot from Earl Spence, and he took the shot well. Maybe he just was training for it. He was in shape enough to make sure that his stability and his frame was just more solid than it was when he fought Gamboa, because that's what they're really judging off of. But besides all of that, I feel like he got to be in tip-top shape. He's moving up in a bigger weight division, so the punching power he haven't felt before. That's going to play a difference. That's a big difference. He's going to have to keep Canelo off his ass. Can he do it for all 12 rounds? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he's going to get hungry and try to sit there and show people, like, yeah, I got the skills. I'm in a bigger weight division and I'm fighting Canelo. I'm going to win. Can't get brave, can't get too big-headed. This is a sport that will humble you real quick, you know? And I would tell him, fight your fight, be a smart fight. Let it be a smart fight. Do not try to brawl with somebody that's already way bigger than you and got skills. You know, he's not no pushover. He's not one of these fighters that they use to get you prepared for a championship fight. This is a champion. He's already a champion. He's already made a name for himself, and he's a cold hitter, killer. Canelo is the truth. Cannot underestimate him, can't take away from nothing that he got. You know, but I'm going with Canelo. He's strong, he's fast, and he's wise too. He's starting to learn a lot.
It's a tough one to pick because you know Canelo's big, strong, but lately Canelo hasn't really gone for the knockout. He doesn't really try to knock his opponents out. A little flat-footed, throws one punch at a time. So I think Canelo wins the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford pulls off a decision because Crawford has great footwork, great skills, and great speed also. He could throw 2-3 punch combinations and move and probably confuse Canelo and maybe come out with a win with a decision. I'm excited about that fight.
You know, in life, like I said, you're only as good as your last performance. I don't take too much in his last performance. The guy was moving everywhere. He's tall, he's rangy, he's, you know, around 6'1", and he was moving all over the ring. So Canelo knew he was winning the fight. How much did he really want to engage, take a chance when he knows he's going to win the fight? So therefore, he knows he has the big fight on the back end. I think, I'll tell you this, I think if Canelo knew, like, hey, this could go either way, and he had to press the action more and step up and do that, I think he would have did that, and I think he could have stopped that guy. But risk versus reward, I think that's why he didn't do it. And I think in this fight with Terence Crawford, although I like Terence Crawford, I think he's one of the best in the world. I think he's biting off a little bit more than he could chew. That being said, hey, I want to see it. Maybe he's going to prove me wrong, but I have a distinct feeling when he gets hit by Canelo at 168 pounds, he's going to realize it's a little bit of a different punch than what he's faced so far at 154 pounds.
Yeah. Terence Crawford is one of a kind, you know. And to me, he's a pound-for-pound fighter right now. He's a pound-for-pound fighter. And to take the challenge with Canelo Alvarez, it's a big challenge, but can be anything there. Because Canelo, this time, I seen him, he slowed down. And it's normal. It's normal. No talking bad about Canelo. Canelo always doing his best in the ring. But the performance is natural, everybody. You have your best time, and then when your bad time coming, and you have to accept it.
He have a great chance because of his heart, his talent, and also his game plan and his strategy. But Canelo is no pushover. I've watched Canelo for multiple years. Again, the best is fighting the best. And Crawford dared to be great. And this is one of the ways you do it. And you tell the world, watch, pay attention, and watch me make history. I will be one of those watching amongst millions of other people. I can't wait to, I believe, November or September.
Terence Crawford is great. He can definitely accomplish something like this. But it's one of them things where that's why we're also excited for it, because we don't know. Styles make fights. Canelo's a bulldozer. Canelo's going to be up for this fight as well. It's not going to be one of them fights where he's going to want to just coast through it, or he's got someone that's like on the back foot, you know, trying to survive. Crawford's trying to win. We know that. So I feel that's why this is such an exciting fight.
You know, I don't see Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. He's too big. It's almost 3 divisions, you know. Canelo's too big for Crawford. It doesn't matter how much he eats, how much he comes bigger that night. But at the end of the day, anything can happen. Maybe, hopefully, we can have a big upset. But at the end of the day, I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think Crawford is not going to stand there and trade with Canelo. And Canelo will love that. But I think Canelo's going to beat him by points and move around. Hopefully, with that weight, he can still move and get away from Canelo.
Canelo's got to get through a fighter that I think is going to have a hard time getting through in Crawford.
What do you think happens in Canelo-Crawford?
I like Crawford. I liked him all along. I've always liked him. I think he's special. And we'll find out if I'm right.
What makes you feel like Terence is a favourite in your eyes?
Because of the subtle things. We know he's got speed. We know he's got power. I think he carries it up. He's got boxing IQ. He's got good technique. He adapts well. We know all that. But he's got the intangibles. He's got the it factor. He's got the things that you can't quantify. You can't measure on paper. You can't point and say, oh, that. Whether it's timing, whether it's a supreme confidence in himself, he's got the ability to see things in a very difficult environment just before someone else sees it. And that's what allows him to have such precise timing.
I'm a big Crawford fan, but I have been looking at his fights more and more, and I watched Jose Benavidez fight the other day, and there was just a few glimpses in that fight that I just thought, if Canelo's in front of him, I think he'll just be too big. And he doesn't throw as many punches as Benavidez, but he's more calculated. He's got great head movement. He's got a great presence in the ring, and I think it'll be a step too far for him.
That's a hard fight to call. I do think Terence can get the win. I do believe Terence can get the win. The weight is a factor, of course, but activity as well. But Canelo is at a different stage of his career now, and Crawford has that thing to prove that Canelo doesn't, and that can help you a lot in a fight when you're fighting for that deeper meaning, So I'm backing Crawford for the win, but yeah, hard to call.
It's a good fight, and it's an interesting one. It's like a dream matchup. I think people are looking at is Canelo maybe a little bit past his best, and I think he probably is. But it's weird. Crawford's seen as the fresher of the two, but yet he's the older. I think it's at different stages of the career, but I think as we've seen with the Charlo fight, that there's weights for a reason, and Charlo's a massive 154, and he was bullied by Canelo on the night. Yeah, I think Crawford's probably got more ability than Charlo, but there's only so much size your ability can make up for, and I just think Canelo might be that naturally a little bit too big for him. But in terms of skill set, it's an unbelievable fight, and one that, as a fight fan, I'm glad it's happened.
The same questions they told me that yesterday, So it's everybody's is best on me. So I say Crawford. Everybody say Canelo. So But I mean, this fight is not easy. The Canelo-Crawford is the both is great fighters. Canelo is everybody knows Canelo is strong. Is more weight than Crawford. It's different, Crawford coming up. Canelo is still here, so it's different. Crawford have the power too, but not the same as Canelo. You know what I mean? But Crawford have good legs for the move, defense, everything. I mean, this fight is hard division. I mean, and anybody would do it, say, hey, this guy's winning 100%. So I mean, my opinion is I say Crawford, but I know this fight is like 60-40 for Canelo.
That one's the hard one. I've been telling everybody that one is a fight. I feel like you could play it out 50 times, and every 50 times it could go differently. Crawford has the he might have been the lighter opponent, but I believe he still has the size advantage, and from all the pictures and everything, he looks solid. Like he looks like he went up to the weight strongly, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that one plays out. But Crawford has, ring IQ. So does Canelo. Canelo has, a lot more fights, but I think they both have, respectfully in the same amount of experience in there. So yeah, that fight it's hard to call. I really just as a boxing fan, I'm just looking forward to it. It's like it's hard to have one guy that you're rooting for in that one, but it's going to be great for boxing.
Maybe, but at the same time, Canelo, if you move away from him and box, you can get to him, especially this sort of like heavier, slower, older version of Canelo that we're seeing now. But if you stand and fight with him, he's accurate, dangerous, mature, everything that you need. He can take a shot better than probably anyone else. We've seen him take clean shots from Golovkin and not really flinch. We've never seen him hurt, really, physically, not even troubled, really, I would go as far as saying. Even Bivol, who was way bigger than him and sort of had all the reach and range, still weren't absolutely physically manhandling him. So, I don't know, I just think the bigger guy for a longer time. Canelo has physical advantages, but Crawford is as elite and as pound for pound strong as you can get. You can literally see when he's in there his whole lifetime of wrestling and boxing experience, and he uses every bit of his movement and he uses the other fighter's body against him, and it's just two elite fighters, and it's like one of those, we roll the dice, how the styles come up, and what are you saying, Dan? And it really is just how it sort of comes together, I think. But usually the bigger, better fighter beats the slightly smaller, better fighter, you know what I mean? And I think it's just a bit that, even though their start weight wasn't a million miles away, so who knows, but fantastic spectacle and a fight that I can't wait to watch.
Great fight, really good fight. His fight's finally there. Crawford, a brilliant fighter. Canelo, I think he beats 97% of fights that are out there. I think Canelo will be too strong for him. I think Canelo will just have a little bit too much for him. And I think Crawford, I respect him massively because he said, yo, I want this. He might have seen something we haven't seen, but I just think it's just a step a little too far in my book.
A few people have changed their opinions on the back of Canelo's performance against William Skull. Do you think Crawford will take any more confidence from that?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And that's what I'm saying. You saw that fight and you thought, what are you doing? And maybe Crawford saw something before we even saw that he's slipping. He's no longer that 97% fighter. He's now that 80% fighter. And I mean that top 20 that you can't beat. And so he's probably, because he's studied him and watched him over and over again, he's probably seen something we haven't. With the first time we saw an inkling of that was in his last fight.
A good big one always beats a good little one. The only thing is, I by no stretch of the imagination do I feel like Canelo's on the slide, but that sort of scenario where you feel like they've peaked and they're just coming down the other side of the mountain a little bit, I feel like he's there. So, and I've seen a lot of people who I respect their opinions picking Crawford, and I'm like, oh, my initial instinct was always Canelo will just be too big for him, even though the sort of skill sets are quite equal. But yeah, again, I'm picking Canelo. But God, he's such a good fight because you really can't decide. The intrigue is Crawford going to be able to sort of cope with Canelo at that weight?
Interesting. I thought Crawford looked big, very interesting. Have we seen the best of Canelo over the last couple of years? I don't know. Crawford, obviously an amazing fighter, ring IQ, very, very special. I'm going for a Crawford win.
I've thought all along, I think this version of Canelo that we've had consistently over the last few years, methodical, slow-footed, loading up on single shots almost, as he's going on, telegraphing even more, I think Crawford might be too clever for that. I think Crawford might have too good a feet, too much of a skill set, definitely got a great IQ. And the fact that it's not a height and reach job as a disadvantage for Crawford. I think he can outbox him. I've thought this all along, but then going on the last performance especially, then I really do. I give him a real good. The key is when he gets hit, if he gets caught flush from Canelo, it's gonna hurt. But when we've seen Crawford caught with big shots before, because he does get hit, this is what makes it even more exciting, because Crawford does get hit. He fights in a way where he will get hit. But when he has got caught before, he's clever enough and he knows how to ride out the following attack. And because Canelo's not a combination puncher anymore, those bouts of where Canelo goes, if Crawford can ride them out, he'll get back to his boxing and he can outbox Canelo. So I'm leaning towards Crawford.
Fíjate, me gustaría verla por la historia que tiene Crawford, un campeón indiscutido. A mí la verdad la diferencia de peso ahí sí se me hace mucho. 3 divisiones, hay que recordar que lo vimos contra Madrimov en 154, se vio mal. Entonces imagínate qué va a pasar en 168 libras.
It's a fight that I'll definitely tune in for. I don't know about the weight difference. We saw Crawford fight Madrimov at 157, I believe, and 47, 54, sorry, at 154. He did not look like he used to do. So having to jump all those weight classes to fight Canelo, it's going to be a little hard. But I'll watch it. I'll tune in.
Do you think Canelo would stop Terence Crawford because of a weight difference?
¿Lo puede noquear por la diferencia de peso?
No sé si noquearlo, pero sí va a ganar la pelea sobre el Canelo Alvarez.
I don't know if knock him out. We know Crawford has a good chin, but I do know that Canelo is most likely going to come out victorious.
I rank Terence very high, pound for pound list and everything. You know, I think that he's a great fighter, but to fight Canelo at that weight, I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think they'll be able to do it. I'd rather see him fight like the Troller brothers or somebody, you know, that's 154, but 68. I mean, you know, he dares to be great. So, I mean, that's another thing. I take have to Terence Crawford for daring to be great and daring to do the things that, you know, maybe nobody will do. But I think that's a little bit, because Canelo can fight too, and he's a good fighter. I think it's a little bit too much for Crawford, for that. I just think that's too much, yeah.
Crawford is very smart fighter. Both is very smart, but Canelo is most how explain. You know, he have a strong punch. He have a lot of interesting styles what they do in the ring. But Crawford, you know, he's don't go inside in the water very fast. He before fight he try what Canelo do, and I think 60% Alvarez. Crawford for the Canelo. It's my opinion. Yeah, I think.
History has proven that talented fighters who move up in weight class have had success. So I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and think that the overall science and skill set of Crawford might be enough to derail the punching power and size of a Canelo. So I'm leaning to Terence Crawford.
We're looking forward to it. My answers keep changing. I say Canelo because he's naturally the bigger man. They're both close in age, which is what people don't talk about. And of course, Canelo got the experience. It's in his weight category. Then I think Crawford, because look, it's Crawford. IQ, you can do anything that needs to be asked of him. And when they size up, the size difference isn't too much. But my mind keeps changing, so just like a fan, I'll be watching.
I hope he is 100% on fight night, and I hope Canelo is 100% on fight night, and he's not looking at it as, you know, I think Canelo, no matter how much money he's had in the past as well, bear in mind he's been in well for a long time, I think he'll definitely be in the right frame of mind. If Crawford is, then I think we have got a mega fight on our hands. I think it's a very intriguing fight. I think anyone else but Crawford moving up them 2 weight limits, it would be relatively easier for Canelo, in my opinion, an easy fight to pick for me. But this one, I am sticking with Canelo because of the size and because of the ability added to the size. It's not just the fact that he's a big lad. But I won't be surprised at all if Crawford does pull it off and does manage to outbox Canelo. But yeah, in a long-winded answer, in a long roundabout way, yeah, I do think that the big one will beat the little one, even though the little one is very special in this fight.